Hello and welcome to yet another week of Premier League predictions with Hardik Agrawal, the Sports 9 football analyst. After Tottenham prevailed over Marseille dominating the midweek football action in Europe, focus now shifts to the Premier League with some interesting lineups for the weekend. We enter the second last match week of the English Premier League before the once-in-a-4-year phenomenon World Cup starts from November 20, 2022. Goes without saying, the players will use the league games at hand to prepare for the biggest sporting game after the Olympics. At the same time, there's rising concerns about injuries. A number of players were seen leaving the field in tears with sustained injuries during the match action. Ben Chilwell, Reece James, Jota and Kante are some of the English Premier League players who would be compelled to miss the Mahakumbh of football in Qatar. Let's get on to the business. Last week we anticipated 80% of the results right. Chelsea's loss to Brighton was scripted in our previous show. United's win over West Ham, Arsenal's triumph over Nottingham Forest, City's success against Leicester and Tottenham edging past Bournemouth were amongst the results which aligned with our pre-match analysis. Liverpool losing to Leeds United was the least expected result of the last week. That match ended Reds' 29-match unbeaten streak at Anfield. So how are the things lined up for this week? Here we go. Let's start with Arsenal versus Chelsea. The battle of two London foes is going to be the biggest clash of this match week. The Gunners are blazing loud this season with just one loss in their first 12 matches. This by far has been their best start since the 2003-2004 season. Still fresh from scoring 5 past Nottingham Forest in the previous week, they would be high on confidence against the Blues. Graham Potter's Chelsea lost their momentum with a 1-4 distressing loss to Brighton in the previous week. The defensive and attacking shortcomings were easily evident. The West London club might end on the losing end against the Gunners. They don't appear well equipped to match the attacking unit of Arsenal, who are bolstered by the shining armours Jesus, Martinelli and Saka. Chelsea's attack has been often found wanting despite the presence of Aubameyang and Sterling. Aubameyang would be playing against his former teammates and it might not prove to be fruitful for the Gabonese striker because he could be on the losing end. The drama would also carry on to North London where Tottenham Hotspur hosts Liverpool. The Reds are on a dismal run, having registered 2 back-to-back losses against bottom-place teams Leeds and Nottingham Forest. The defense is out of order and the attack is unable to find answers. They gravitated back to life in their 2-0 win over Napoli in the Champions League, but Premier League this season is proving to be too hot to handle for them. Tottenham Hotspur might have bounced back against Bournemouth last week, but they're still far from the mojo that they displayed at the start of the season. The absence of forwards Richarlison, Kulusevski and Son could cost them dear. However, they are a force to be reckoned at home and could share spoils with Reds at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. City's narrow 1-0 victory over Leicester City was a little hard to come last week due to the absence of their prolific striker Erling Haaland. Now here is a pleasant twist for them. The imminent return for their prodigal striker could bring smiles on the faces of the City fans. City hosts Fulham this week. The Cottagers have shown real strength and character in the Premier League this season. The road ahead appears bumpy for them as they could end up on the losing end against City, who would be firing blaze from all over. Fulham are unbeaten in their last 4, having scored 8 in the process and keeping 2 clean sheets. The Citizens have an average of 3.1 goals per match this season and would certainly prove to be heavy on the London side. Manchester United have overcome their defensive woes. Erik ten Hag has resurrected the Manchester club in recent times. David De Gea hasn't conceded through open play in their last 7 matches across all competition. Martinez has been effervescent at the back, causing all kinds of problems to the opponents. The Red Devils could have an upper hand against Aston Villa. The Lions have lost the last 3 of the last 5 matches, looking a pale shadow of themselves. However, it won't be easy for Ten Hag and co to decode Villa at the Villa Park. United could book a narrow win in this one. The first clash of this week is between Leeds and Bournemouth. Leeds are high on confidence after edging past Liverpool in the previous week at Anfield, whereas Bournemouth's struggle continue after a steady start under Gary O'Neill. The Cherries have been conceding 2 goals on average in their last 3 matches. They could succumb to the high-intensity play of Leeds United. A Leeds win expected in this one. Nottingham Forest's win against Liverpool was another one-off last fortnight. Their weak links were again evident in their 0-5 loss to Arsenal last week. The administration might have shown faith in Steve Cooper by extending his contract, but it looks like a very unreasonable decision at the moment. This week they would be up against Brentford. The Bees could create problems for them at their own turf. Ivan Toney could prove to be the decisive factor in Brentford's win against a subdued Forest side. Wolves take on Brighton at the Molineux Stadium this week. Costa's red in the last match week puts the host attacking setup under scrutiny. Let's also not forget they have merely 6 goals in their first 13 matches. Brighton, on the other hand, have been reckless under the tutelage of Roberto De Zerbi, their new manager. The Italian manager finally recorded his first well-deserved win against Chelsea last week. Both teams have finishing issues in the final third, but in this match, Brighton's Trossard could provide an edge to them and a Brighton win is expected. Everton hosts Brendan Rodgers' Leicester at the Goodison Park. Leicester have leapfrogged Leeds and Wolves after suffering 8 losses at the start of the season. They have gained back impetus with assistance of James Maddison and the defensive unit. The defense hasn't been chipping away goals as easily as they did at the start of the season. The Foxes would face one of the best defenses of the league. Everton have merely conceded 0.9 goals per match this season, a record similar to the likes of Man City and Arsenal. Frank Lampard has really worked on their defense. Both the sides have resolute defense at the moment and could share a point in Merseyside. The in-form Newcastle United would be travelling to Southampton to play at the St Mary's Stadium. The Magpies have shown signs of brilliance in recent times. They're altogether a different breed under the English manager Eddie Howe. All the defenders and attackers are in prime form. Whether it be Tierney, Wilson or Almiron, there has been no shortage of praise for them in recent weeks. They should easily better Southampton this week. The Saints have just won once in their last 5 and are having attacking issues. On the other hand, Newcastle are on an 8-match unbeaten streak, having booked 5 wins in the process, even against heavyweights Tottenham Hotspur. They easily have an upper hand against the Saints. After a tight contest against Manchester United last week, West Ham hosts Crystal Palace at the London Stadium. Both the London clubs are merely 2 points away from each other in the points table, Eagles being on the 10th while Hammers on 13th. However, Eagles' away record is as bad as it could be. They have an expected goals against of 2.15, which showcase their likelihood of conceding in away matches. They haven't won a single game on the road, registering 3 losses and 2 draws in their last 5 away matches. It's likely that they could face another cataclysmic loss to the Hammers in London. That's it from this week's episode. Don't miss the big clashes of this week: Chelsea vs Arsenal and Tottenham vs Liverpool. It would be a fierce battle amongst the top 6 sides. We hope that our predictions align with the results. Here is a word of caution. These pre-match predictions are derived after taking a number of factors into consideration. But the real match situation can always be different than what we work out on computers, laptops or paper sheets. So please use discretion. If you like this insightful episode, then please hit the like button. Also, share it with your football friends. Share it on your WhatsApp FPL groups. Maybe this video can help your friends in choosing the right players. To read and watch more about the world of sports, subscribe to News9 and Sports9. You can also read interesting articles, news, previews and reviews on the sports section of our News9 live website. Thank you so much for staying tuned. This is Hardik Agrawal signing off.